Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar.
The Middle East is an area in which the United States has had a long-standing interest. For years it has been the backer of the State of Israel in its difficulties with its Arab neighbors. And as the United States' own petroleum reserves have dwindled over the past decade, it has grown more and more dependent on Middle East oil suppliers, some of them those Arab states that have gone to war with Israel. This country's diplomatic efforts concerning the Middle East reached a high point when President Carter, at Camp David, brought Egypt and Israel to a peace treaty, a prelude, the U.S. hoped, to Israel's peace with other Arab neighbors. That hope remains unfulfilled. The revolution in Iran was the first of two recent events that threatened American interests in the area. The revolution not only affected oil supplies, but installed a fundamentally Islamic anti-American government. That government preached that the United States was the enemy of Islam, the predominant religion of the area. That Islamic call produced echoes, if not revolutions, in other nearby Muslim countries. The second important event affecting American interests was the Soviet Union's Christmas-time invasion of Afghanistan. The invasion produced fears in virtually every other country in the region as well. The United States now feels a new sense of urgency about the Middle East. For his part, Egyptian President Sadat views the invasion as it affects the balance of world power.
But peace needs to be balanced all over the world. In the last 2 or 3, or even since the Vietnam complex and since the Watergate and so, you didn't give or attach the needed importance for keeping the balance in the whole world as the first superpower. For that you appear to be on the defensive and the Soviet Union on the offensive, and they moved in Africa, they moved in Asia and Afghanistan, and they will be continuing to move if they are not checked. I'm happy because you are now in a position after Carter's doctrine to check the Soviet Union, not to make war with the Soviet Union, because the Soviet Union will not start war for Afghanistan or anyone. I know them quite well. I have dealt with them.
You know, you turn it around. In the United States, it's been heralded, this invasion of Afghanistan, as perhaps a step closer toward war. Yet you say it's a good omen.
It is a good omen. Why? The balance must be kept in the whole world. Look what has what is happening now on the Persian Gulf.
Yeah.
Everyone is scared, and everyone is not sure of the help of the United States or sure of himself. So they are really in a mess. That is because the United States appear to be on the defensive all the time. Well, when Carter started to check, well, this is a good omen because, as I told you, I have dealt with the Soviet Union more than 15 years.
Yes.
They need full surveillance, 24-hour surveillance. But I really advise this: help your friends to defend themselves, either economically, and I put economically in the first place, to build their economy, because economy now means independence. And then sell us the arms with which we can defend ourselves.
The language of strength is what you're saying.
Quite right. And the language of checking him wherever he moves, or whenever he moves, one must be ready to check the Soviet Union. And they can be checked. It is not very difficult.
What do you think the United States should do now in this connection?
I agree with President Carter 100%, but it needs more surveillance from your side, and you have to drop this Vietnam complex and so, not in the sense of sending American soldiers to any place in the world.
If I may interrupt, your friend Dr. Henry Kissinger has suggested that we should send troops to Pakistan. You're saying that that is wrong.
No. I don't agree to this at all.
No.
I don't agree to this. I don't agree to bases, any more bases, because, you know, whenever there is a base and a foreign flag, there is hatred always. And you have your experience. Why shouldn't the United States, with all its status that I told you about, start talking with the Palestinians, with the PLO? Well, Kissinger gave a certain commitment.
Yes.
But I think the responsibility of the United States as a superpower, or the first superpower, and in this troubled world, and mainly in this troubled area now, I think this should bring the United States to talk with the PLO for the sake of peace, and for the sake of trying to ease the tension in this part of the world.
Do you have any indication that they will talk to the PLO?
I have no indications, but as I told you, I am of the idea that it is the responsibility of the United States
To talk with them.
even if there is a commitment like this, tell the Israelis we are going to drop this commitment, because we are responsible, especially after what has taken place in Afghanistan and is being cooked now in this area. Well, it is not the first time that we reach a deadlock or we have difficulties. By nature, let me tell you that I am optimistic, as I have always said. We have faced before Camp David and after Camp David and before the treaty and after and before the treaty, we have faced lots of difficulties, and we have surmounted them all with the effort. And again, let me put emphasis that without the United States, without the devotion of your President Carter to the cause of peace and his perseverance, really, we could have never achieved anything.
Well, a lot of people say that you're going to have to go to another three-party summit with you, Prime Minister Begin, and President Carter. Do you think that's necessary?
It is necessary. I welcome the idea, but
You call for the idea right now?
I welcome the idea, for sure. But this time, if I am to advise, let us have this session with Carter in Camp David or in Washington.
It's unusual, even extraordinary, that two arch-enemies could have become such friends and admirers. I asked each of them about it.
I like him. Why? He was strong in his enmity, and he is strong also in his friendship. This is the strong man. Well, Begin, as you know, is the last of the old guard there.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone could have, brought peace in rather a very short time. It is 2 years and few months since my initiative. Only 2 years. Look to what has taken place in those 2 years. No one could have persuaded the Israeli public opinion except a very strong man like Begin.
Since the Soviet invasion of Afghanistan, there's been a sense of urgency in the United States. Has that sense of urgency permeated any of your Arab neighbors to the extent that they've started to soften their isolation of you?
Let me tell you this. They didn't isolate me. Look what is my position now and their position, all of them. Everyone is shaking in his own country, shaking really. On the Gulf, Saudi Arabia, Libya, Algiers, all of them are shaking. Syria, well, they isolated themselves. They didn't isolate me at all. In the time while they are shaking and they couldn't solve any problem, but on the contrary, there has been more and more contradictions among themselves in the new league that they started in Tunisia. In this same moment, I'm gaining ground every day and every moment, either towards the goal of peace or towards creating stability here in this part of the world, the Middle East.
So the Arab economic sanctions haven't bothered you at all?
Thanks to you, number one, because there are other friends who has helped us. But the main help, and let me seize this opportunity and express my people's gratitude and mine to every American man and woman. Not at all.
No, why?
Not at all. I tell my people all the facts in all my speeches. Everything is in daylight. It is not the same in the other Arab countries all over the area here. And then there is no exploitation here. In Egypt, there is no royal family and oil and like what is taking place in other places. No, not at all. We are a revolution, and we have democracy, full democracy.
You said that the Saudi royal family was in great difficulty and that they were afraid of Khomeini and the Iranians. What did you mean exactly?
Well, we are not only scared from the Khomeini revolution. They are scared from the Palestinians. They are scared from the Syrians. They are scared from the Iraqis. Well, I'm sorry to say this, but the Arab cause should not be harmed because the Saudi family is facing difficulties or so. That's what I was saying.
Now, you mentioned religious fanaticism. I'm not a Muslim and I don't understand your religion, but I see the Khomeini revolt in Iran, we see the attack on the mosque in Mecca, and is there a connection between these two? Is there a rise of fundamentalism in the Islamic world?
I have said it, I repeat it. This is not Islam at all. At all. This is Khomeinism. Why? Islam doesn't know hatred. The man Khomeini is living, is eating and drinking hatred every day, and he is giving the Iranian people hatred in their food every day. This is not Islam at all. At all. I have said it, I have expressed myself, and more than that, I have blamed all my colleagues who are Muslim leaders in their countries who has not accused and condemned this from Khomeini. This is not Islam at all. Islam means brotherhood. Islam means faith. Islam means friendship. Islam means love. This is the true interpretation of Islam, not Khomeini's hatred. No, it's not Islam at all.
However, President Sadat differed when I asked him if the Mecca incident was political opposition to the kingdom.
Yes, for the very simple reason that during the 17 or 18 days, the rebels inside the mosque was giving speeches through microphones that they prepared for themselves before they took hold of the mosque, and they were telling their principles, and it is a pure political issue.
You know, President Sadat, I guess you realize you enjoy a very good press in the United States, and one of our magazines, Fortune, just did a cover story on you in which they say, in effect, Sadat has put his shoulder to the wheel of history and made it move. In his presence, you feel a sense of dignity and mission. Well, everything I read about you emphasizes that there is a mystical sense about you, particularly in regard to your mission to Jerusalem. Do you think God really put you here to do what you do? Does God tell you to do?
I feel it a mission. Let me tell you this. I don't want anyone to misunderstand what I say. I'm not a prophet. I'm not a man of metaphysics or so. Let me tell you this. I feel that I have a mission since I was a small boy. I didn't take after my father or after my family in lot of things. I felt always that...
Were you an outsider, a loner?
Yes, I felt always that I have certain feelings because I was taught my main culture is Islam, not Khomeini's Islam, but the true Islam. True Islam says that the human being has got part of God in himself. That's what we call the soul. In my life and in my dealings in the concentration camp, in prison, while I was hungry, in my capacity as a member of the Revolutionary Council who declared this revolution, and then at last as president, let me tell you this. I have always sought the help of God and the stability in the inner of myself. Whenever I was on good terms with God and have the stability in my inner self, well, wonders can be achieved.